Now, it's been on the cards for years, a GCSE qualification in British Sign Language, BSL. And Sky News understands that after delay upon delay, the course still won't be ready in time for students this September. Campaigners say it is a disgrace and young deaf people are being left in limbo. Sky's Amrit Singh Mann has this report.
British Sign Language is a recognised language of the UK.
Let's all learn it!
A language that combines hand shapes, shoulder movements, lip patterns and facial expressions. BSL is part of the curriculum at this specialist deaf school in St Albans. And soon it could be available to all mainstream secondary schools too.
Opportunities for the deaf are limited right now, but they'll grow in the future.
In 2023, the government announced that BSL will be taught as a GCSE in England from September 2025. But Sky News understands the qualification will now be delayed.
How long do we have to wait?
Frustration among those who've campaigned for the subject for over a decade.
There's no reason why this GCSE shouldn't be available now. Deaf young people have been campaigning for so many years to get this GCSE in place, but they've just been left in limbo, and it's a disgrace.
In Wales, plans for the course have been scrapped due to practical challenges, though that result is unlikely in England. Approximately 1 in 5 people in the UK are deaf or hard of hearing, but anyone can complete a GCSE, regardless of age, which means a BSL qualification will even be able to help some hearing parents to communicate with their deaf children. Meet 4-year-old Olive. Her parents have taken it upon themselves to learn their daughter's first language, and it's not been cheap.
3.5 years ago, my husband and I started learning BSL. It's cost between us nearly £8,000, which isn't accessible to many people, and it's something that I believe should be funded. So I think a GCSE in BSL will be a game changer all around. From my own personal perspective, if my eldest daughter, she's hearing, learnt BSL alongside her hearing friends, and they came to visit us and Olive and could communicate with her fully, that would just be life-changing for the whole family, and especially for Olive.
A spokesperson for the Department for Education told Sky News, "We continue to work closely with the exams regulator Ofqual to deliver the BSL GCSE as quickly as possible while ensuring the new GCSE is high quality and rigorous." Ofqual is finalising their proposed assessment arrangements for public consultation, and their technical consultation will be launched in due course. A new date for the GCSE is up in the air. It could be as early as September 2026, or even take several more years. The government, understandably tight-lipped for now. Amrit Singh Mann, Sky News.
Well, joining me in the studio tonight are John Walker, Chair of Signature, the UK's leading body for deaf communication qualifications, and his interpreter, who you saw a little earlier there, Marco. It's good of you both to be in the studio tonight. Thank you, to talk about Amrit's report. John, why do you think this qualification has been delayed?
Yeah, the qualification, GCSE qualification, have processes they have to go through. And the unfortunate case is that GCSE, in this case as a BSL GCSE, was not an off-the-shelf GCSE that could be renewed or changed and modified. It was starting from scratch. They had to start from scratch, and they had to go through processes of consultation and to make sure that when it is established, it's going to be a successful GCSE for all children. So although was predicted 2025, but we think that now is not even going to be 26, but probably 2027. That's when the first class will take place.
2027, that's some delay. Why is it so important that this is brought into the classroom as soon as possible?
It is important because for deaf children themselves in schools and never had qualification in sign language so far. They always have qualification that are assessed or, made about English, and therefore this would be the first time in their life, perhaps, they will have the chance to be assessed in their own language, or at least a preferred language for some. And it's important also to the hearing peers as well, because in the future they might become doctors, dentists, social workers, other professionals as well, where deaf people could communicate with them directly without an interpreter required, you know, they become the next future society where we can go to shops and places and be supported and help in basic communication with them without having to struggle or having to bring interpreters. So it's a bit of a utopic dream that could be achieved throughout it.
And do you think it's essential, not just because it is a qualification, but how it can change the fabric in society of, in terms of in schools, you may not take French GCSE, but you have some basic understanding of it if you've heard it in the school system. And this could be the case with BSL. And what a change to society that could be.
Absolutely. It would be an amazing opportunity, a big shift from having to communicate and engage and travel, even overseas. Sign languages are different, but at least if you have the basic on one sign language, you can at least interact. And for children themselves, a different way of learning is a visual approach. Sign language is a visual language, and therefore they will utilize that more.
The practicalities of making this happen, you've said it's not, there's not a precedent, so it has to start from scratch, and that is where the delay has come from. But what would your message be tonight for the Department of Education and Ofqual? Because we know that so often, when there is one delay, there can be many more unless the pressure is kept up by those like yourself and the children that are talking about it as well. Because I know anecdotally my 11-year-old son and his peer group are talking about it as an option, and they're interested. So what would your message be for the Department for Education and Ofqual tonight?
I think it's important that we continue with the development of the qualification that is strong and right and can be effective and suit both deaf and hearing children. So that's an important message to make sure that is achieved. But we are here to support both Ofqual and DFE, the Department of Education, in order to expedite, if possible, the development of this qualification.
I think the message is get a move on, isn't it? What is get a move on in BSL? Because I think that would be useful for everyone.
Get a move on.
Get a move on. Wonderful. John, it's been a pleasure to have your company in the studio tonight. John Walker there, Chair of Signature, the UK's leading body for deaf communication qualifications, and his interpreter. Doing a star turn for us tonight, Marco. Thank you so much.